Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 8th grade concept of transformations on the coordinate plane. This is standard 8.10c in the great state of Texas, and we're using item number 21 of the 2023 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. Alright, so we've got a square, and it looks like it's got the center as the origin right there. So that's going to be a little bit easier for us to kind of see what's happening here. And what we're looking at is we want a transformation that does not produce a square with the vertices at the same set. Okay, so what that means is that 3 of these are going to keep the square looking like the square. One of them is going to have the vertices at a different set of coordinate pairs. That's interesting. All right, so let's just take a look at these, and we can graph these. Now, some of us, we might recognize what some of these transformation rules do, but if not, we can just graph them. Okay, so let's take a look at A. When you're looking at this x, y, and you're just noticing that the x gets changed to a negative x, the y stays the same. Hopefully, we recognize this as a reflection across the y-axis. But if not, let's just graph it and see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to take like this point right here. So, negative 2, 2. Right now I'm going to change the x to a negative x, and that's just going to be a 2, 2. So this point right here goes to this point. So that's going to stay the same. And if I do this right here, right, this 2, 2, I apply the negative x, it's going to be negative 2, 2. So this point goes right over there. So you're just going to reflect it across the y-axis. Same is going to happen with the bottom 2, which means the vertices are going to stay the same. So it's not going to be A. So let's see what happens with B. Okay, so B is going to be a slide, right? It is going to be a translation. And when we have the translation, everything's going to move, right? It's going to move a little bit to the left, right, because we've got the x is negative 2, and a little bit down. And that is definitely going to shift our vertices. Take a look at this right here. This is going to move over 2 and down 2. So that's going to move right there. This is going to move over 2 and down 2, so that's going to move down there. Over 2, down 2, that's going to 0, 0. And that's going to right there. So here's my new, that's my new square, which, kind of makes it look like a cube. That is definitely going to not produce a square with the vertices at the same set of coordinate pairs. But let's just verify that the other 2 aren't going to shift it too much. I'm doing a negative x and a negative y. For C, hopefully we see that this is a 180-degree rotation. If it's 180, doesn't really matter if it's clockwise or counterclockwise, right? It's halfway around. So I'll take this 2, negative 2, I'm going to apply the negative x, negative y. So that's going to end up being negative 2, negative 2, which flips it around to right there. See that rotation? Like I could take this one right here. It would be 2, negative x, negative y makes it negative 2, 2. And it goes right up there. So everything just rotates around. So C is fine. And let's just check our D. So we've got the x, y changes to, look at this, they go to negative y, x. So we hopefully recognize this as a 90-degree counterclockwise. But if we don't, let's just, once again, just take a few points and see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to get my negative 2, negative 2. So what we do is we take our y, we make that our new x, and we make it a negative. So that's 2. And then we just move our x from the front to the back. That's our new y, negative 2. Well, this goes from negative 2 to 2, negative 2. It's just rotating 90 degrees counterclockwise. Everything's just going to shift over like that. So that's going to maintain the same set of coordinate pairs. So A, C, and D are good. They're just rotating or flipping. It's that B, that's that translation, that's going to slide it over 2 and down 2. That's our answer.